Yo, what's up? Welcome back. This is day 3. And we are continuing on with Davinci Resolve Fusion Manual. It's glorious. We left off last around 1000, I think it was that. Is this right? We were just finishing up about the importing media into the Fusion page. Is that what it was? The media pool. Previously on episode 2, we talked about we spoke about the Fusion fundamentals of exploring the interface. Oh, we're coming up on getting clips into Fusion. Oh boy. Oh boy. So we were at the exploring Fusion interface. Where's that? Fusion fundamentals, exploring. Yeah, this is what we kind of went over yesterday. Or we did go over this. Not kind of. We did. It was the Fusion user interface, the interface toolbar, viewers, zooming and panning into viewers, loading nodes into viewers, clearing viewers. Then we had the time ruler and transport controls. Oh, who could forget? Good times. Where we talked about time ruler controls in the Fusion page, time ruler controls in Fusion Studio, the playhead. We talked about zoom and scroll bar. We talked about transport controls, audio monitoring, transport controls in the forget the Fusion Studio, and then we've got the changing the time display format, and then the RAM preview, and then the toolbar, node editors. That's where things started to get interesting, but this is all just the layout of stuff. And then today I mentioned we wanted to try and get through 40 pages, so I think I'm going to try and pick up the pace. If we can get through 50 pages in 3 hours, then this series, I think, could probably get done in 30 live streams, which would be sweet to get through, because then we could get to the part of applying what we've learned, and that's always exciting. But getting clips into Fusion, yeah, right. Okay, so let's go to 1195. Thumbnails and timelines, blah, blah, blah. The media pool. I think we tried to stop at one of these. All right, and then let's load up into, yeah, this is the groundhog, by the way. Let's load up into this. Fusion, Davinci Resolve Studio 18.6. Does that mean for every update, I'm gonna have to I'll have to reread through the entire Fusion section? No, probably not. This might be a one-time through for Davinci Resolve at least. But let's see, we got the what is it? Stream 2, Stream 3? What are we? Stream 3. I'll have to organize all this, but new project, let's call it Stream 3. Not very organized right now about that, but that's all right, whatever. I want to put this to 30 FPS. Keep the frame rate low. We don't need to go HD today. We're just trying to learn this stuff. That might be too much for the comp anyways. Computer, that is. All right, so let's see where we're at. Importing media. Oh, perfect. Importing media into the media pool on the Fusion page. So that means right here. If you can find yourself in the Fusion page and you need to quickly import a few clips for immediate use, you can do so in a couple of different ways. If you find yourself, I'm in the Fusion page. That's actually where I found myself. was in the Fusion page. To add media by dragging one or more clips from the Finder to select the clips, and then drag them to the media pool, straightforward, or to the bin list. So if there's a bin, right-click, new bin, call it new bin. You could either drag it from the Finder. Oh, whoa. You could drag it from the Finder, that's all good. All right. Drag it from the Finder. And here you've got, let's try to find a video clip to bring in. Let's see. Do I have some here on the desktop? I think I do. Oh my goodness. Where is this video? I keep losing where that is. Here it is. Okay. So this is a little clip. It says, let's add this in. And we can drag it either directly to a bin or onto the master timeline. Oh, and this is the wrong frame rate. And it's also the wrong dimension. So that's not really the right video. Let's not bring that one in. Let's find a different video clip. We have something quickly bring in. Okay, actually this will be better. Sorry, you might want to skip ahead like 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Sorry about this. It's all work in progress, trying to figure out the flow of these episodes. This is definitely something I should do before. It's just that, well, no excuses. I'll try to do better. I'm off screen. I'm trying to look for a clip to add into the timeline. Let's see if I go to, I'm going to Envato and I'm going to download some stock footage to use for this episode, which I could do beforehand, but let's see, stock footage. What looks fun? What kind of mood are we going for? Looking up at the clouds. Business. Yeah. The classic Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. And let me put that onto the daily videos. Where am I going with this? Let's just put it on desktop. These are all things we'll figure out in due time. How to get organized with this for the show. And then, so I think this video is going to be too high. I think this is like a 4K video. Doesn't need to be. It is a 4K video. So should we switch to 4K? Sure. Test if the stream can handle it. Yeah. So that's how you do it. With the Fusion page open, okay, to use the import media command in the Fusion page, with the Fusion page open, right click anywhere in the media pool and choose import media. That's what we just did, and then use the import dialog to select one or more clips to import and click open. Those clips are added to the media pool of your project. For more information on importing media, you could do a little more research there. And then bins in Fusion Studio. Bins in Fusion Studio are similar to Media Pool and Davinci Resolve. Bins are organizational panels that provide an easy way of accessing commonly used tools, settings, macros, compositions, and media content. They can keep all your custom content and resources close at hand so you can use them without searching through your hard drives. Bins can also be shared over a network to improve a collaborative workflow with other Fusion Studio artists. Man, that would be sweet, right? Working on a network drive and connected on the single project, working on the same project all together. It's possible. I don't know how to do that yet. To open the bins window, choose, yeah, I think I did that. Oh, because I'm not in the Fusion page. Go to Media Pool. Oh, before I was on the cut page, by the way, but it works the same. That's basically what they're saying. You just can, if anything, you can directly bring it in and place it into the bin, just like before. Yeah, you get it. And then we've got these power bins. Power bins is something else, actually, that you have to open. How do I do that? How did I do that before? I'll look back to it at some point. Similar to the media pool in Davinci Resolve, when adding an item to the Fusion bins, a link is created between the item on disk and the bins. Fusion does not copy the file into its own cache and hard drive space. The file remains in its original format and its original location, which is important to note because whenever you move that file on your computer, it's gonna unlink and then you have to relink it. So what I just did where I downloaded the video and put it on the desktop, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to kind of get a little more organized and put it in a nice place, but whatever. So we got the bins interface. The bins window is actually a separate application used to save content you may want to reuse at a later time. The bins window is separated into two panels. The sidebar on the left is a bin list where items are placed into categories, while the panel on the right displays the selected bin's content. The bin list organizes content into bins or folders using a hierarchical list view. These folders can be organized to suit your workflow, but standard folders are provided for clips, compositions, favorites, settings, and tools. Parent folders contain subfolders and hold the content. For instance, the tools bin is a parent folder to all the categories of tools. To access subfolders, click the disclosure arrow to the left of the parent folder's name. When you select a bin from the bin list, the contents of the folder are displayed in the contents panel as thumbnail icons. Oh, I don't think I have any saved Fusion bins yet. Collections? No. Nah, these are smart bins. Power bins? No, I don't have power bins yet. Because the examples they have, like with this sweet looking Yeah, anyways, let's keep moving. A toolbar along the bottom of the bin provides access to organization. Where's that? Playback and editing control. Studio player. What? Where's this? The toolbar along the bottom of the bin. So if I go into the bin, I'm in a bin. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I don't see where this is. Studio player. Huh. That's the bins toolbar. Huh. Huh. Okay. New folder. Am I missing something? Maybe this is an older version? New folder creates a new folder, new reel, whatever. We know. We know this stuff, right? New reel creates an empty reel that can contain multiple clips to get edited together into a timeline. New clip opens dialog to link a new media file into a bin. Studio player opens a playback viewer for a selected clip. Icon/list view. This button toggles between showing contents of a bin in thumbnail view and list view. And then we got checkerboard, shows the checkerboard pattern in a clip. Thumbnail to signify transparency. All right, well, we'll see it at some other point. What am I missing here? I don't know. Bins interface. Huh. All good. And then we got the bin studio. Wait, what? Am I missing something here? What happened? The bins interface. That's within the choose file bins. That's what I missed. File. That's what I'm missing, I think, but I still don't. Project notes. Huh. Huh. Hmm. Choose file bins from the menu bar. Ah, we got bamboozled again. It's Fusion Studio. Okay. All right. You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? That's what I'm looking for. All right. Okay. We're just going to close and then reopen it and pretend like we didn't just waste the first half hour. But at least this means that, like, I mean, there'll be more studio things that we'll catch. That means we'll be a little faster than we can get a little faster, and we'll remember that. The console window, I think the console window is also a Fusion Studio. That is it. So we will just keep going past the Fusion Studio stuff, and now it's on, and it's at a size that you can see. Let's see the Fusion settings windows. Fusion has its own settings window accessible by choosing Fusion settings in Davinci Resolve, or in Fusion Studio by choosing Fusion preferences. So we go to Fusion settings, Fusion settings. It's got all this stuff. And going to File, Preferences, yeah. This window has a variety of options for customizing the Fusion experience. For more information, see, okay, so whatever. Moving on. We've got Fusion settings here. I mean, it's worth taking a peek, right? So Fusion settings, we've got the 3D view. There's we got the 3D view, the defaults. We've got the flow, frame format, general, path, map, script, spline editor, splines, timeline, tweaks, user interface, the view, the VR headsets, and then you can save Fusion layouts. It is possible to customize the layouts and configurations of panels to suit the size of the desktop and monitor, or to match personal preferences. In Davinci Resolve, configure and resize the panels you want by going to Workspace, Layout Presets, Save Layout Presets. In Fusion Studio, configure and resize the panels you want displayed, and then click the grab document. Yeah, screw that. Screw Fusion Studio, get lost. Showing and hiding panels. The UI toolbar at the top of the screen lets you open panels you need to hide and hide those you don't. It's the simplest way to create a layout for your particular needs at the moment. The UI toolbar of the Fusion page. So that's the UI, and then resizing panels. Yep, works like that. Just hover over that. Okay, Fusion Studio. We can really move quicker with these, can't we? Fusion keyboard remapping. Do we need a Fusion keyboard? Okay, let's move quicker with this. When using the Fusion page, functions and tools can be mapped to hotkeys on your keyboard by choosing Davinci Resolve Keyboard Customization. In the commands column of the keyboard customization window, select Panels Fusion page. For more information about using the keyboard customization, yeah, and maybe if we get like one of those MIDI devices, that's something we might want to do. Okay, but basically you can remap things, right? This is how you remap. And then you can, for instance, if you want to add a shortcut for a specific node. Yeah, I thought it was smarter to, if you want to add a shortcut to a node, it's probably better just to like add it on this bar here. There's a lot of real estate here. You could customize it to your own needs. And then in the same way, like if you had a device, that's when you would want to like use this hotkey. Undo and redo. Yeah, same thing. Chapter 65. We are moving along now. Getting clips into Fusion. This chapter details the various ways you can move clips into Fusion as you build your compositions. The contents of this chapter are the yellow bits are the main parts, which are preparing compositions in the Fusion page, using media in nodes, using loader and saver nodes in the Fusion page, importing USD files, preparing compositions in Fusion Studio, using proxies for better performance, file format options. Cool. So preparing compositions in the Fusion page. Ordinarily, clips come into the Fusion page from your edit or cut. Nobody uses cut timeline as either a single clip or multiple layers contained within a Fusion clip. You can also add clips to a composition directly from Davinci Resolve's media pool. How clips find their way into Fusion compositions can determine how they function within the composition and what resolution that composition outputs to the rest of Davinci's Resolve. Okay. Working on single clips in the Fusion page, positioning the playhead over a clip in the edit page or cut page timeline and clicking the Fusion page button causes the clip to appear in the Fusion page as a single media in node connected to a media out node. Yeah. Only the topmost visible clip is taken into Fusion. Clips that aren't visible because they're on lower tracks with clips above them are ignored. Unless you disable the clips or tracks that appear above. These very simple default compositions are referred to unofficially in this manual as single clip compositions. The media in node represents the image that's fed to the Fusion page for further work. And the media out node represents the final output that's fed onward to the color page for grading. And this is the default node tree that appears when you first open the Fusion page while the playhead is parked on a clip. This initial node structure makes it easy to quickly use the Fusion page to create relatively simple effects using the procedural flexibility of node-based compositing. For example, if you have a clip that's an established shot with no camera motion that needs some fast paint to cover up a bit of garbage in the background, you can open the Fusion page, add a paint node, and use a clone mode of the stroke tool to paint it out quickly. Huh? Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, why'd it go away? Oh, because this is a long clip? What is the FPS on this? Oops. It's 30. Seems like it's taken forever. No, and this is slow motion. I feel like this was filmed at 60 FPS. Whatever. I don't need this eclipse. Tip: the resolution of a single clip brought into Fusion via the edit or cut page timeline is the resolution of the source clip, not the timeline resolution. Once you've finished, simply go back to the edit or cut page and continue editing because the entire Fusion page composition is encapsulated within the clip. Similarly to how grades in the color page are also encapsulated within the clip. However, you slip, slide, ripple, roll, or resize that clip. The Fusion effects you've created in the color page grades you've made follow that clip's journey through your edited timeline. Tip: while you'll likely want to do all the compositing for a green screen style effect in the Fusion page, it's also possible to add a keyer, such as the excellent Delta keyer node, between the media in and out nodes all by itself. When you pull a key this way, the alpha channel is added to the media out node. So your clip on the edit page has transparency, letting you add a background clip on a lower track of your edit page timelines. Whatever. That was not an excellent experience of the Delta keyer, but we're probably doing it wrong. I think they go into explanation later, so let's get to that. How nodes are named. While the documentation refers to nodes by their regular names, such as media in, the actual names of nodes in the Fusion editor have a number appended to them to indicate which node is which when you have multiple instances of a particular type of node. Okay. So turning one or more clips into Fusion clips. For situations where you know you're creating a more ambitious composited effect that requires multiple layers edited together with very specific timings, you can create a Fusion clip right from the timeline. Right. So from here, you can just go right click and say new Fusion clip. Right from the timeline. For example, if you have a foreground green screen clip on the foreground, a background clip, and an additional graphic clip, you can stack them all on the timeline as superimposed clips. as superimposed clips. My OBS is saying that the audio is a little off. That it's getting 0 bitrate. I don't think that's true, OBS. Something with that connection. It's tough out here for a streamer with 0 viewers. So you can then use the edit page slip and slide features to align their timings so they work together as necessary. You can also edit multiple consecutive clips together that you want to use in composition as a series of clips. Once that's done, you can select every clip in the stack to create a fusion clip. So you can easily use all these superimposed layers within a fusion composition. To create a fusion clip, edit all the clips you want to use in the edit on the timeline, and then select all of them so you can do a stack. And then right click one of the selected clips and choose new fusion clip from the context menu. And then a new clip named Fusion Clip X appears. And you can launch into it. Just like this. The nice thing about creating a fusion clip is that every superimposed clip in a stack is automatically connected into a cascading series of merge nodes. Ooh, that's cool. To create the desired arrangements of clips. Note that whatever clips were in the bottom of the stack in the edit page appear at the top of the node editor in the fusion page. Wait. Note that whatever clips were at the bottom here we're in the bottom of the edit page. Oh, okay, I get it. So this clip would be here. And this clip, well, that's here, but this clip is here. Tip: fusion clips change the working resolution of the individual clips to match the timeline resolution. For instance, if two 4K clips are stacked on top of the other in an HD timeline, creating a fusion clip resizes the clips to HD. The full resolution of the individual 4K clips is not available in Fusion. Because we're on an HD timeline. Yeah, that's like normal. I mean, yeah, that's how it'd be. To maintain the full resolution of coarse clips, bring only one clip into the Fusion composition from the edit or cut page timeline, and then bring other clips into the Fusion composition using the media pool. Oh. Wait. That's a little tricky. If two 4K clips are stacked, so talking about this stacking, but if you stack it onto an HD timeline, creating a fusion clip resizes so the act of doing this thing, it's two 4K and then you stack, but it's on if it's two 4K clips in a HD timeline, then it will go to HD, and you'll lose the ability to work with the 4K resolution. But if you just bring one at a time, and then you import it from the media pool into the thing, it's going to be full. Man, that's like one of those things that if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you don't know. So adding fusion composition generators. I'm gonna change I don't need that much real estate for That's good. Adding Fusion composition generators. The generator category of the edit page effects library has a Fusion composition generator. So the generators, what are generators? What do they do? It's useful for creating an empty work placeholder in the timeline that you later want to work on in the Fusion page to create a more fully featured Fusion composition. So to create a blank Fusion, oh, that's just saying in the edit page. Oops, wow, don't open that. In the blank edit page, you want to go to here, and then you can just add it from here. Type in Fusion for effects. You can ploop it on top, and then you're there. That's how you do that, right? Is that what they say? In effects? Effects, yeah. You can drag a Fusion clips with the standard 5-second duration, or you can set the in and out points in the timeline and drag the Fusion composition clip onto any of the editing overlays. A new clip named Fusion composition. Yeah, that's what we just demonstrated. So let's keep moving. Creating a Fusion composition clip in a bin. You can create an empty Fusion composition clip in any bin in the media pool without creating a timeline. This method can be useful for creating motion graphics or titles when there's no timeline, or when you plan to on using the clip in multiple timelines. Create a blank Fusion composition clip in a bin. We select the bin in the media pool where you want to save the composition. Okay, I want to put it in the new bin. You right click on the area and choose new Fusion composition. Oh, just like that. Speak of the process. Right click on it. Enter the name, duration, frame rate, and then click create. And it will create it. Oh, interesting. You can make it fast. It's 5 seconds, Fusion composition, or it's 120 FPS. Huh. And then the clip will appear in the bin. To open it, you double click it for a Fusion kit. Right click to do that. Resetting a Fusion clip. To reset a Fusion clip back to its initial default state, right click on the Fusion clip in the edit page timeline and select reset Fusion composition. You can select multiple Fusion clips and reset them all at once. So if we make a thing, add a thing. Okay, no. Let's make an abstraction of this. Yes. And then you can just right click and reset. That's all you do. Just like that. What? I said right click on the Fusion clip in the edit page. Oh. 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 I could reset it from here. Do you really want to do this? Yes. And now in the Fusion page, the thing is gone. Yay, we demonstrated it. So using the Fusion transitions, specific Fusion transitions are available in the edit page. Wait, what time is it? Should I pause? No, we can do this. And then I'm going to take a quick pause. Open the effects library and select the video transitions category. So effects, video transitions. Huh? Oh, effects. Am I supposed to be in the edit page again? Open the effects to apply and open a Fusion transition. Open the effects library and select the video transition category. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's a lot here. I've never looked through these. How to? Hold up. I want to be in this clips because I think it should do a preview. Bullseye. Huh? Wow. Cool. Wait, these are cool, man. Blu-rays. Bruh. Yo, this is sweet. These are sweet. What is Bullseye? Also, this thing is, I don't need to be previewing this at 4K. Yo, this is cool. What even is this? What is this? Seethe? Can we lower the playback? What did I just press? Come on, this is what we went over yesterday. Come on. Playback. Quarter, right? I think that's it. Yeah, that's lower quality now. Now it's playable. Bruh, that's pretty cool, man. Is it the transform? Trying to figure out how to move the the thing in the middle. Let's close the clips again. Is it the shape? No. Nope. Nope. No, it's gonna be. Wait, what am I missing here? Is it this? Translation? Whoa! Yo. Wow, this is getting cool. Oh, where'd it go? Where did it go? Cool. And can I get a 3D camera? Or I could use this thing here. Okay. 3D camera. Can I just... Oh yeah, but they're not in the same thing. Oh, I can... Yeah, there we go. Okay, forget this one. I want to look in this view. Bruh, this is super cool. And then now I got the view of what's going on. Bring the camera back, and in the camera, load the cam. Oh. Oh, renderer. We want to see, yes. Okay, so this is what the camera's showing. And this is us working in on the scene. So, right, if I move this, we see. Uh-huh. Oh, that's rotate. Uh-huh. I feel like we're making progress. Feel like we're making progress. This is where I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute pause. I'll let it just play on loop. And I will be right back. BRB. What's up? We are back. This thing is bubbling around. Pretty cool. Ooh, what's the visualizer? Does this get audio? Is this an audio driven thing? I hope it is. Wait, hold up. Let me close the one in the background because that's confusing. I have them stacked like that. Okay. Wow, and things are strobing and flashing and oh, it's still in the background. That's why it's still kind of throwing me off. We can move this over just so it's got its own spot. All right. Huh. These are commented? Here we generate the color for the block patterns in the background. This tool might be replaced with a loader as well. The mask for the oscillating line. Play around with the perturb modifier to get different results. Here we generate the oscillating line. This could be replaced with example audio from the Crocodove collection. That's what I'm talking about. This can get audio driven. Oh my goodness, it's just the third day of doing this and we're already finding such cool stuff. This generates the, well, trails for the line. Play around with the gain, scale, and blur size. Upsize, downsizing to 24 by 16 pixels and upsizing again with the nearest neighbor to create the blocky effect. Oh, that's the background blocks that are kind of bouncing around in the background there. It said to mess with the perturb, but I don't see the perturb. Man, these a lot of cool stuff here. Bubbles. Blowing leaves. Galaxy? I saw a galaxy swarm. What is that? We're getting sidetracked, aren't we? But it says galaxy swarm. Gotta see. Gotta see what that is. Did I crash it? I think I crashed the thing. Whoops! Oh. It's going. No, it's not. Oh. Let's get just one of these. Oh, come on. Where's the button? Why? What? Oh, it was hidden. You know? Camera 3D? What does that mean if I can't? think it means no, so it should be, no, there's a reason that it's not previewing, right? Because I think the vortex is in here. It's something that I have to click on, isn't it? Buffer, no. 3D viewer, no. But one of these, I think it was. Not a quad view. I think it's something here about the preview. I don't know. But anyways. Okay, let's get back on to a task. We're getting kind of sidetracked. Maybe that's the point of this. So fusion transitions. I still didn't see transitions in here. Huh? We are getting sidetracked, aren't we? Why isn't it playing? Play. There we go. Right? No. Text outline. So I'm looking down here. Allowed typing in preview window. Huh? Huh? Advanced camera shake. Anyways, I didn't find. it. Oh, the matrix. Huh. That's so cool that these are all just like defaults inside of. See, that looks pretty sweet. I didn't know about this. I didn't know that Fusion had cool default things. Smokestack. Yeah, I didn't even know these were here. Didn't even know these were here. Can I move it? What does that do? It's doing something. Video transitions. I still do not see the video transitions for these effects. Templates, video transition. Are these? This is the edit page, isn't it? Transitions. Here they are. Okay, and it's because I have a bunch of things that I downloaded. I never went through any of these, but this is what should be at the top. I wish I could organize it so these were at the top. Might make sense to delete all these templates because they aren't mine. I just downloaded them, and I didn't even make them mine. Maybe we'll make them ours at some point. But these are all just like hacks that I never looked through. Mosaic. Can you use this? I wonder if you can use these as a well, they're saying they use it as a template. I mean, they're saying right-click the Fusion transition in the timeline and choose Open in Fusion page. Noise dissolve. Just so we're on the same page, right? Cross dissolve. Yeah. The Fusion page opens with two media end nodes representing the two nodes of the transitions. The media end nodes connect to the cross dissolve or a group of nodes used to create the transition. At this point, you can modify the transition using masks or other nodes and return to the edit page to see the results. Cool. To learn about creating custom Fusion transitions that appear in the effects library, go to chapter 66. I think that's next. No, okay. All right, whatever. Adding clips from the media pool. You just drag and drop it. Tip, dragging a clip from the media pool on top of a connection line between two other nodes in the node editor adds that clip as the foreground clip to the with a merge node. Yep, it does a little extra thing. When you add additional clips to the media pool, those clips become a part of the composition, similar to how ext matte nodes you add to the color page node editor become part of that clips grade. That was a mouthful. Audio with media clip pools. Media pool clips. Audio from a clip brought in through the media pool is muted by default. Hearing the audio from a media clip is a two-step process. To hear audio from a clip brought in through the media pool, do the following. Select the clip in the node editor. I want to do this so I can see how it works. Do I have any? I don't. I have a clip here that uses audio. Does it? This has a little audio icon with it. I mean, there's an audio clip, but it doesn't look like there's any. That doesn't look like there's any audio. What does it say? Let's just read it. And then in the inspector, so up here, so you get the clip, and then inspector, you go to the clip name. In the inspector, click the audio tab and select the clip name. In the inspector, go to the audio tab. Audio tab. Audio tab. What? In the inspector, click the audio tab and select the clip name from the audio track drop-down menu. Huh? Okay, that's confusing. And I want to make sure that I get that right. Okay, this has a little bit of audio to it. Doesn't matter. Same, bring it in here. And then we go to audio tab. Oh man, that's kind of silly. But that is good to know. Okay. Or you could right-click the speaker icon in the toolbar, then choose the media in for the media pool clip to solo its audio. So right-click the speaker icon in the toolbar. No, that's what I did. Okay. All right. Finding clips in the media pool from the node editor. Complex Fusion compositions can have multiple media in nodes to keep track of. It is possible to find the exact clip in the media pool assigned to a media in node by selecting it and then choosing clip, find clip in the media pool, option F. Or press this button. Adding clips from the file system. You can also have the options of dragging clips from the file system directly to the node editor. When you do this, they'll be added to the currently selected bin of the media pool automatically. So if you have a library of stock animated background textures and you've just found the one you want to use using your file system search tool, you can simply drag it straight into the node editor to use it right away. So straight from the file explorer using media in nodes. The media in nodes in the Fusion page are the foundation of every composition you create. This section provides more detail about the controls available for adjusting media in and loader nodes. Media in node inputs. Media in nodes have one effects mask input and one output. In the case of the effects mask's input, connecting a mask node such as a polygon or a B-spline node creates an alpha channel in the media in node. In the case of the effects mask input, connecting a mask node such as a polygon or B-spline node creates an alpha channel in the media node. Yeah, that's the little blue, the blue one. Little blue alpha channel thing. Yeah. Tip, if you connect a mask node without any shapes drawn, if you connect a mask node without any shapes drawn, that mask auto outputs full transparency, with the result that the image output by the media in node is uselessly blank. If you want to rotoscope over a media in node, first create a disconnected mask node, and with the mask node selected, exposing its controls in the inspector, then the media in node loaded into the viewer, draw your mask. Once the shape you're drawing has been closed, you can connect the mask node to the media in node's input, and you're good to go. Let's see if we can demonstrate that real quick. Close this, close this. Maybe put these templates together because they're kind of cool, but we really don't need them open here. Let's put them here, and this one here. Look at us, we're using the mini map. We know there's stuff over here. Bring it over. Let's put this here, and this here, and then what do we have here? What do we have here? What is this? Huh? Oh, check the renderer. Oh, this was the little smokestack. Let's delete that. Uh-oh. I press delete. Don't crash on me. Okay, thanks. No, what was this? What was this? Oh, shall we play a game? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Okay, whatever. No, let's not play a game. Screw you. Oops. And for some reason now the media in thing, I think I just right clicked and pressed something. Shows thumbnails. I think I just did that. Media in. There we go. And what were we going to demonstrate? We were trying to demonstrate the media in node and adding a mask. So if we do, let's add a spline polygon, and there's nothing here. So it shows nothing, but you have to do your mask, and then it should show something. But I'm doing something wrong. Mask. Magic mask. Nah, I think these are masks, right? So I'm just doing something not quite right. If you connect a mask node without any shapes, that's what we did at first. The mask. Oh. It wasn't connected. Wait, it's still not connected. What? What? Oh. Aha, we did it. Success. And then if we demonstrate that again, it's going to be, we put a square, disconnect this. If we just have a square and there's no mask, although there is a mask, what are we trying to demonstrate? If we have a spleen, no, I have to draw a spleen. Spline. Oink. Disconnect this. Connect it to this. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, if there's no drawn mask, it's going to be empty. If you want to rotoscope over a media in node, first create a disconnected mask node. Oh, okay. And with the mask node selected, and the media node loaded into the viewer, draw your mask. Oh, okay. Okay, no, wow, we are making progress here. We are learning things. So there, this is the example of what they're talking about. With this right here, you can then draw your mask just like this. Draw your mask. Draw your... Okay. Draw your mask. Draw your mask. Just draw. Just... Come on now. Come on. Come on. Control? No, shift. Yo, how do you disconnect this? What? No. Hey. Huh? Bruh. What was, how do we, um, oh, that's gonna, how do we break these? Polyline? No way, you have to go all the way over here. No, what's the hotkey? I thought it was control, and then you click one of these. Or we gotta break it up here with some of these tools? Maybe. No, I thought it was a hotkey though. Shift M. No. No. Publish? Make a double poly? Multi-frame menu? Onion skin. Ooh, that's cool. You can onion skin. Roto assist. Well, I need help, but I just, oh man, I'm so, look, it's pretty straightforward what I'm trying to do. You should be able to move this handle separately from this handle. Okay, we gotta keep moving. We gotta keep moving. We gotta keep moving. Can't just stay there. But that's kind of strange that I can't pull out the handles and then, why? What? Maybe both of them at the same time? Oh, I really thought that was gonna work. What combination of keys could I press? I'm pressing Control Shift, Control Shift Alt. I'm right clicking, middle clicking, Control middle clicking, Alt middle click, Shift middle click. All right, I'll figure that out some other time probably. Hopefully, or I'll just never figure it out. Oh, that's kind of so frustrating actually. And what is a B-spline? Really? Really? Okay. Come on. Come on. What? I'm gonna have to look that up after. What? 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 What is going on? I think this is like some weird. Uh, what in the world? That one. That is so confusing. Modify only. Wouldn't that be it? If I did this, no. Bruh. Bruh. Huh. I'm baffled. I'm definitely missing something here. Oh my god, this one is just crazy. It's perfect. All right. All right. No way, man. This is like the roto section. I'm okay. I'm for sure missing something here. For these to be linked together like that, do I have to turn this off? No. Then it doesn't show. No. Do I turn these off? Maybe? Wow. Baffled. Absolutely baffled. baffling. I am just totally missing something. Anyways, back on track. You rotoscope it and then you connect it, and that's how you get it. Just like that. All right. That's the pro lesson. Inspector properties of media and nodes. So inside of the inspector properties, we've got when you create a composition using clips from the edit page timeline, the media and nodes for those clips display fewer parameters than those imported directly from the media pool, because the timing of clips that have already been edited into a timeline is already set. Look, it's called the clip name is KFC. Image tab has the clip name. The process mode. What does process mode do? It lets you choose whether the clip represented by the node will be processed as full frames or via one of the specified interlace methods. Clipping mode is frame. Output size is custom. Then there's media source. Selects where the media is linked from, allowing you to access edit track composite results. Timeline links the clip from the edit timeline by default. And then there's background in cases where the clip is composited over another clip in the edit timeline. The background clip is loaded instead. In cases where the clip is composited over another clip in the edit timeline, the background clip is loaded instead. Oh, I don't actually, for some whatever reason that's confusing me. Media pool links the clip directly from the media pool, bypassing the edit timeline. Then layer. In the case of Photoshop PSD files, this selects the layer of the PSD file to use. Oh, is that also how you do EXRs? Maybe. That's a follow-up. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna have to read about EXRs. So source color space. The color space type menu sets the color space of the menu to help achieve a linear workflow. Unlike the gamut tool, this doesn't perform any actual color space conversion, but rather adds the source space data into the metadata. If the metadata doesn't already exist, the metadata can then be used downstream by a gamut tool from the from image option, or in a saver if explicit output spaces are defined there. Auto passes along any metadata that might be in the incoming images. Space allows the user to set the color space. All right, something to come back to at another time when we're deeper in things and gotta get the color space just right. So we got source gamma space, which is the curve type menu automatically determines or allows you to choose the gamma setting for the image and allows the option to remove the gamma curve to help achieve a linear workflow. This is more stuff about color. So auto passes along any metadata that might be in the incoming image. Space allows you to choose specific setting for the gamma space drop-down menu, while visual graph lets you see a representation of the gamma space's setting you've selected. Log similar to log linear node. Log linear node. This option reveals specific log encoded gamma profiles so that You can select the one that matches your content. A visual graph shows a representation of the log setting you've selected. When Cineon is selected from the log type menu, additional lock RGB, level, soft clip, film, stock gamma, conversion gamma, and conversion table options are presented to finesse the gamma output. Remove curve depending on the selected gamma space or on the gamma space found in auto node mode. The associated gamma curve is removed from the material, effectively converting it to output in a linear color space. And then pre-divide, post-multiply lets you multiply, post-multiply lets you convert straight alpha channels into pre-multiplied alpha channels when necessary. Tip: all content in the Davinci Resolve Fusion page is processed using 32-bit floating point bit depth, regardless of the content's actual bit depth. I don't know what that means. I think it means they can calculate stuff. Audio tab. The inspector for the media in node contains an audio tab where you can choose to solo the audio from the clip or hear all the audio tracks in the timeline. Ugh. The audio tab in the media in node is used to select the track for playback. Slip the audio timing. Oh, you can offset it. And reset the audio cache. If the audio is out of sync when playing back in Fusion, the audio tab sound offset wheel allows you to slip the audio in subframe increment. Oh, that's kind of cool to know. Oh, that is good to know. Can you only do that in the Fusion page? The slipped audio is only modified in the Fusion page. All other pages retain the original audio placement. Huh. Actually, that's weird. Why would you want that? I bet if you're doing some like long nodes, it might be off or something. And so you actually need the audio to trigger slightly earlier. Purging the audio cache. The audio and its settings are cached for faster performance. If you change which audio tracks you want to play back in Fusion, or you use the sound offset wheel to slip the audio track, you need to purge the audio cache. Also, if you return to the edit, cut, or Fairlight page and modify the audio levels, you need to purge the audio cache. Do you need to? The audio and its settings are cached for faster performance. If you change which audio tracks you want to play back in Fusion, or you use the sound offset wheel to slip the audio tracks, you need to purge the audio cache. Huh. Also, if you return and modify the audio levels, you need to purge the audio. Okay. To purge the audio cache after any change to the audio playback, click the Purge Audio Cache button in the inspector. Here is the second. Oh yeah, there it is. Should we click it? Why not? I think we did it. We didn't actually. Here, look, if I mess with it, and then, oh, I thought it would reset. Whatever. Aligning clips from the media pool. When you add a clip from the media pool or file system directly into a composition, the resulting media in node has more option than clips from the edit page timeline. These additional options make it easier to align the media pool clips with other clips from the edit or cut page timeline. You can also trim clips. Hold the first or last frame for a longer duration than the original media, and reverse or loop the clip to get more range for your composition. That's good to know. You just hold the first frame, because then you get a little bit more. Get a little more media. Well, not media, but it's like it could hold for longer on one frame, and then you could like do stuff, and then you don't have to like add in another media source. It just will not, that media source won't start until, yeah, until the scheduled hold frame. And the same on the way out. It could hold for a little longer. Oh, actually, that's interesting. That media in. Wait, oh, so the mask here. That's good to know. So I applied the mask here, and then the media in the settings for media in, I can change which, I can invert the mask. That is actually kind of confusing. Why would, I can change the mask, how the mask is applied to the media inside the media file node and not in the mask node. But this is just a polygon, right? Is that how I'm supposed to think about it? It's just a polygon. And I guess the way it works is when a polygon is applied to a media source, it acts as a mask. But the way that that mask works is in the settings on the media file. Okay. All right. I can buy that. When you add a clip from the media pool or your file system directly into a composition, the resulting media in node has more options than clips from the edit page timeline. These additional options make it easier to align the media clip pool clips with other clips from the edit or cut page timeline. You can also trim clips. Yeah, okay, that's what we just did. So below is a list of controls that are added beyond the controls that appear when a clip is added in the editor. So these are extra things that you can get inside of the inspector inside of the Fusion page compared to the editor cut page. So the global in and out, use this control to specify the position of this node within the composition. Global in out. Where is that? Where is that? Oh. Okay. Well, it exists. Maybe sometimes we see it. Oh, it's right here. Why does it show up for this one and not this one? I think it's because, I know why. Because we're in, this is the main media source that was also on the edit page. And then this is an additional media source that shows up. And so that's why it has it's global to the media one. I think that's what this is all about to explain. Use this control to specify the position of this node within the composition. For instance, when the clip is added to the comp from the media pool, it is added at frame 0. However, the media in node from the edit page timeline may not start until a much later frame, based on where it is in the edited timeline. Use global in to specify the frame on which the clip starts so that it aligned with media from the edit page timeline. It is easiest to view and change the alignment of different clips in the comp while viewing the keyframes editor. To slide the clip in time or align it to, oh, okay, so they're saying like, don't mess with this button over here because that's going to be kind of confusing. But if you do it here, that's how you can pretty easily move it around. To slide the clip in time or align it to other clips without changing its length, place the mouse pointer in the middle of the range control and drag it to its new location. What? Okay. Oh, just left click. Regular old left click. If the global in and out values are decreased to the point where the range between the in and out values is smaller than the n number of available frames in the clip, Fusion automatically trims the clip by adjusting the clip time range control. The global in-out values are increased to the point where the range between the in-out values is larger than the number of available frames in the clip. Fusion automatically lengthens the clip by adjusting the hold first, last frame controls. Extended frames are visually represented in the range control by changing the color. So, hold last frame. It doesn't look visually changed to me. Trim. The trim range control is used to trim frames from the start or end of a clip. Adjust the trim in to remove frames from the start and set trim out to specify the last frame of the clip. Trim. A value of 5 in trim. Trim in would use the 5th frame in the sequence as the start, ignoring the first 4 frames. The trim out value of 95 would stop loading frames after the 95th. Okay. We got the hold. Yeah, we did that before. Reverse. Select this checkbox to reverse the footage so that the last frame is played first and the first frame is played last. What? This one is not actually reverse. Okay, so that's actually just putting that's playing the video on reverse. Why is this one? Oh, that's right, because this is a media in node that's not the original, for whatever reason, the media source. And then we got the loop to loop it. And I am going to take a quick 5-minute break. Coming up is EXR stuff. Looking. Oh, it's a lot about EXRs. Cool. So thanks for stopping in. I will be in 5 minutes. Yo, what's up? Let's continue. Oh man, where are we gonna hit our... Oh, we're not even close to getting to to 40, 50 pages. Using loader and saver nodes in the Fusion page. The loader and saver nodes in the Fusion page are specifically used for workflows that center around multi-channel EXR files. Open EXR media can contain high-quality floating point image data, multiple matte channels, as well as auxiliary channels rendered from 3D software. The loader node lets you add OpenEXR files to a composition directly from the file system, retaining all the channels that are embedded within that file. Saver nodes enable you to render either all or part of the composition as EXR files directly to disk, bypassing the Davinci Resolve Deliver page. Oh. Huh. So if you export, as you do, from a 3D program as an EXR, you export it and you open it with the loader node, and within the loader node you'll be able to do stuff with it. Then you can actually export by doing save with a saver node. And then to import a multi-channel EXR image sequence into the Fusion page. So this is an important one. I should download this manual and put a mark in it or something. Whatever, I'll remember. No, I won't. That's for next time. That's for next time, just to get the downloaded version of this, and so I can take a note, come back here, or just remember. I mean, maybe since we're going through it so meticulously, reading it out loud, it will stick in my head. But anyways, to import the multi-channel EXR image sequence into the Fusion page, open the Fusion page, open the effects library, and select the tool I/O category. Let's do that. I/O category. I/O. Open effects. I/O. Tools. I/O. I/O. Maybe we close the spleen and the keyframes and we just go I/O. Loader? I typed I/O and it came up with loader. I think that is actually what I'm looking for. Let's add it to the timeline. Nope. So popped an Explorer page, which actually I don't have a EXR ready to rock and roll in here, but good to know. So that's how you do it. File name, you can import it here, import full frames, format. Maybe for next episode, I could get something. I make no promises. I'm just trying to show up and do this. So let's see, open the effects library and select the tools I/O category and click the loader node. Yes, so we got that loader in there. In the operate OS navigation, whatever. A loader node linked to the EXR file will appear in the Fusion page, although a clip will not appear in the media pool. So loader node parameters. The image tab of loader nodes shares parameters with media in nodes as described previously in this chapter. However, when using a loader node for EXR files, the format tab selectively enables and disables the use of specific auxiliary channels contained in the file. Tab selectively, yeah, so turning them on and off. Would be nice to have an EXR file right now, for example, to show as an example. The format tab, because this is honestly super key. I want to understand this part because it's going to tie together nicely with Unreal Engine, but we're not there yet. So let's just continue reading through. Then outputting images using saver nodes. Saver nodes render OpenEXR image sequences to disk directly from the Fusion page. The saver nodes can be added to any branch of a node tree, allowing you to export one or more subsets of nodes in a composition. So like along a node tree, you can throw a saver node, which will grab a properly grab a screenshot of it. You can add as many as you want to export multiple parts of the composition. For example, if a particular composition is made up of one branch of nodes working together to create a complex background, another branch of nodes creating a foreground character with transparency, you could export the background and foreground branches as separate OpenEXR files using two saver nodes. To do this, simply create a saver node after any set of nodes you want to output, and then open the inspector and click Browse to choose a name and location for the rendered result. Yeah. When naming the file, you must add the .exr file extension. Fusion sets the output format accordingly. A 4-digit frame number is automatically added before the file name extension. However, you can specify the frame padding by adding several zeros to indicate the number of digits. For example, 000 signifies 001. That's confusing. That's just kind of stupid. Once the saver node is set up, output one or more saver nodes and choose Fusion, render all savers. Fusion, render all savers. There it is. I'll be damned. Manual disk caching using loader and saver nodes. The loader and saver nodes in the Fusion page are also useful for optimizing extremely complex and processor-intensive compositions. For example, you can render out specific branches of a node tree that no longer require frequent adjustments to OpenEXR via a saver node. Then re-import the result to take the place of the original branch of nodes in order to improve the performance of your composition. Woo! That's getting optimized. That's getting pretty advanced. Used this way, loader and saver nodes provide a bulletproof manual workflow for caching using media files that will never be automatically purged unless you specifically delete them. As long as you retain the original branch of nodes, you can always readjust and re-render these manually cached parts of the composition if necessary. That's getting pretty fancy. Oh, and that's EXRs. And then there's USDs, which are kind of like the new EXRs, I think. So the universal scene descriptor, I don't know this. I think so. I think this is what we're going to be using in the future. So something. So I better read it closely. The Universal Scene Descriptor, USD, framework is a set of open standards for describing, composing, and simulating a 3D environment. Okay, so this is what I want to also pay attention to. The USD file format is more than just a simple format. It's an open source 3D scene description used for creating and sharing 3D content across various applications. Davinci Resolve and Fusion can import USD 3D information, including geometry, lighting, cameras, materials, and animation. So everything. A new collection of USD tools has been added to Fusion, allowing users to manipulate, relight, and render these USD files. So all this stuff connects. All these different things connect. The USD loader. The USD loader allows you to import USD files and adjust its options. That's the U loader. Import a USD file. So I've never even made a USD file, but I know this is something to pay close attention to. Add a U loader tool to your Fusion composition. Yeah, select the USD file you want to load in the file browser. If you wish to change this file in the future, you can do so in the U loader inspector without disrupting your node tree. Connect the output of the U loader to a U merge node. Connect any other USD tools like U camera, so you can add more cameras into a scene that you originally made in a different program, like U camera or any other of the U lights to manipulate the scene. So you can add lights. So like if I make something, connect the output of the U merge tool to a U renderer, and then connect the output of the U renderer to the media out tool. This is a very simple USD import node tree. Replacing materials with imported material X files. Users can load material X files, which I have never heard of, from the USD loader and use the U replace material tool to assign imported materials to a nominated USD object to achieve a desired look. That's confusing. So it's possible to change materials, but you have to load a material file and then probably select the, yeah, is that what this is about? No. And then select material you want to switch. Okay. So there's scene tree dialog for object selection in USD files. Scene tree dialog. The scene tree window uses an intuitive visual hierarchy to represent USD scenes. The tree is activated by pressing the pick button in the prim selection box in certain USD tools. I don't know what any of that means. The scene tree window uses an intuitive visual hierarchy to represent USD scenes. Okay, I do get it. So it's saying these USD files can have multiple things and objects in it. And so this is how you can easily pick the object that you want to edit or do something with. Yeah. Okay. Users can select, filter, isolate, and choose elements in a USD asset to focus on logical components and make targeted adjustments. Preparing compositions in Fusion Studio. The next few sections in this chapter cover preparing a project and adding clips into a composition when using Fusion Studio. The term composition, or comp, is used to refer to the Fusion project file. By default, opening the Fusion Studio application creates a new empty composition when it's launched. A composition can contain single frames, image sequences, or movie files at various resolutions and bit depths. Knowing which files you can load in, how to set up a composition to handle them, and finally, reading those files in are the first steps to beginning a composite. It's beginning to composite. Yay! And that's what I want to do. I want to figure that out. Opening, closing, and saving compositions. As soon as you open Fusion... Oh, this is Studio. We caught it. Are we still in Fusion Studio stuff? Ugh, where does it stop? Fusion Studio. Wait, so if this is like the header, then it would be like the next. No, what? Fusion Studio. Okay, we're still in Fusion. Okay, so this is now setting up the composition, setting up a composition. Man, this keeps tripping me up. Got to avoid the Fusion Studio stuff. Oops. Just bumped my camera. Okay, it's a little better. So setting up a composition. Source media can come in a variety of formats, including HD, Ultra HD, 4K, or larger, or 8K. That's better. Or 8K or 16K. It's too much. Often you will have different formats within a single comp. Each format has a different properties, from resolution to color depth and gamma curve. Fusion can mix and match material of different formats together in a single composite, but it is important to note how Fusion Studio configures and combines materials of different formats when loading and merging them together. When you open Fusion Studio, an empty composition is created. The first thing you do when starting on a new composition is to set the preferences to match the intended final output format. So with the power of foresight and pre-planning, you have to choose what the final output is and set it to that first. The preferences are organized into separate groups, one for global preferences and one for the preferences of the currently opened composition. Frame format preferences for images generated in Fusion. Frame format. Although the final output resolution is determined in the node editor, the frame format preferences are used to determine the default resolution used for new creator tools, i.e. text, background, fractals, etc., aspect ratio, as well as the frame rate used for playback. Okay. If the same frame format is used day after day, the global frame format preferences should match the most commonly used footage. For example, on a project where the majority of the source content will be 1080p, it makes sense to set up the global preferences to match the frame format of the HD source content you typically use. Okay. Noted. To set up the default frame format for new compositions, do the following. Choose Fusion Studio Preferences. Click the Global and Default Settings disclosure triangle in the sidebar to open the globals group, and then select the frame format category to display its options. So you click the global. So Fusion. Oh my God, are we back? Is this the? I'm still in the. Fusion Studio. Is this still Fusion Studio stuff? It is. Render out, generate for increased performance. You can do. Loader node. So I already read about this. So this is still, man, getting so tripped up with the Fusion Studio. In Fusion Studio, yeah. Sheesh. Wait, that means that we do get to go ahead quite a bit though. So look on the bright side. We get to zoom ahead. Fusion Studio. Okay, this is a lot. The Fusion file format options. Is this still Fusion Studio? I think so, right? ESD QuickTime formats provide additional options when loaded. The Fusion interface in Davinci Resolve and Fusion Studio displays specific options for, no, this is new stuff, right? For various file formats in slightly different ways, where Fusion Studio displays most file specific options in the loaders format tab. The Fusion page is, in most cases, displays these options in the image tab of the media end node. The only exception being the OpenEXR format. Its extensive options are displayed in a separate tab, even in the media end node of the Fusion page. So OpenEXRs are handled kind of VIP, very important file with a P. Not all file formats have options. Only the DPX, OpenEXR, PSD, and QuickTime formats provide additional options when loaded. So DPX, the format tab in Fusion Studio. Fusion Studio. OpenEXR. The OpenEXR is compact. It does a bunch of things. Photoshop. There are two methods of importing Photoshop PSD files. You can either import the PSD file and have it represented as a single node in the node editor, or import the PSD and have each layer represented as a node in the node editor. If you do not need independent control over each layer, or blend modes are not used when creating the PSD, then importing the PSD file as a single node will make for a more manageable experience. If you do need control over each layer, or blend modes used in the PSD file are critical, then you should import the file so each layer becomes a node in the node editor. Each method is explained below for the Fusion page and that. Using the media pool in Davinci's Resolve Fusion page, any PSD file added to the media pool in Davinci Resolve can be accessed from the Fusion page. After dragging the PSD file from the media pool into the node editor, the image appears as a media in node. From there, you can select which layer to use from the PSD file from the layer dropdown. To load all layers individually from a PSD file with appropriate blend modes, do one of the following. In Davinci Resolve, switch to the Fusion page and choose Fusion Import PSD. There it is. Using either of the methods above creates a node tree where the PSD layer is represented by a node, and one or more merge nodes are used to combine the layers. The merge nodes are set to the apply mode used in the PSD file and automatically named based on the apply mode setting. QuickTime. QuickTime files can potentially contain multiple tracks. I didn't know that. You can use the Format tab in the inspector to select one of the tracks. Huh. Didn't know it. Now you know. Loading audio wave files in Fusion Studio. Screw that. We're not in Fusion Studio. We're in rendering. Chapter 66. All right. Let's go. Rendering using saver nodes. Really? This is all about rendering using saver nodes? Wow. This chapter covers how to render compositions using saver nodes in Fusion Studio and in the Fusion page in Davinci Resolve. Oh, okay. So it also covers how to render using multiple computers over a network when using Fusion Studio. Ooh. I might skip this part. It's good to maybe skim, but I'm not doing that right now. But it might be good to skim. So rendering overview, we'll definitely read that. Rendering with the saver node. Render settings, dialog, setting up network rendering. We might skip that part. Submitting comps to network render. We might skip it. I think we're gonna skim it. I think we're gonna try something new where we just skim read that section really fast. And then preparing compositions for network rendering. Same thing. Other uses of network rendering. When renders fail. Managing memory use. Limitation of render nodes. Troubleshooting. Yeah, so I think, let's go. Rendering overview. I'm gonna read this kind of quick. And then maybe we'll have hit that 40 to 50 page. We've got like half an hour more. Let's go. Rendering overview. When you have finished creating a composition in Fusion, you need to render the files out to a disk for playback and integration into a larger timeline. Fusion Studio and the Fusion page in Davinci Resolve use very different workflows for rendering. To finish a composite in the Fusion page, you use a media out node to cache results into the edit or cut page timeline. The Davinci Resolve Deliver page handles the final render of the entire timeline. Right. So rendering in the Fusion page. In the Fusion page, a media out node is required for getting your composite from the Fusion page back into the edit or cut page timeline. Whatever the media out node displays when you see it in the viewer is what gets rendered back into the edit or cut page. This process is semi-automatic in Davinci Resolve, where the Smart Render Cache setting begins caching the media out node almost immediately when you return to the edit or cut page timeline. The cache file format and any resolution scaling to fit the composition into the timeline resolution is handled in the Davinci Resolve project settings. Rendering with the saver node. Begin rendering in Fusion Studio. Okay, so we're not, oh right, this is Fusion Studio. Setting file names for export. If you use a file extension when naming the file, Fusion will set the output format accordingly. For example, naming the file image name EXR will set the inspector to output an EXR file, or naming a file image.move will set the inspector to QuickTime. You decide to change or modify the setting of the file type. The saver format tab and the inspector contains the specific parameters for the selected format. That's great. You decide to output an image sequence. A 4-digit frame number is automatically added before the file extension. For example, naming your file image name results in the files named 0001. The starting frame number always uses the time ruler start frame number. Then we got the using the render to settings dialog in Fusion Studio, so skip that. Skip that. Saver nodes in the Davinci Resolve Fusion page. The Fusion page also includes a saver node, although it is used for a different purpose than the saver node in Fusion Studio. Rendering from the Fusion page is handled primarily through the media out node. There's no render settings dialog since the rendering location and format is predetermined by Davinci Resolve's cache settings. Saver nodes in the Fusion page are a special case. and are used to render OpenEXR files only. Once you add a saver node, you enter the file name with the extension .exr. Click the Browse button to select a location for the EXR sequence, and then choose Fusion Render All Savers. Using the saver node is useful for optimizing extremely complex and processor-intensive compositions. For example, you can render out specific branches of a node tree that no longer require frequent adjustments to OpenEXR via saver node, and then re-import the result to take the place of the original branch of nodes in order to improve the performance of your composition. Alternatively, you can render out multiple channel mats or EXR images containing arbitrary output variables, AOVs, to bring into other applications. But I'm probably going to be compositing inside of Davinci Resolve. So, yeah. Render settings dialog options. Many of the options of the Fusion Studio, so skip that, skip all this. So that's Fusion Studio. Rendering previews. You can render flipbook previews into a viewer. These flipbook previews exist entirely within RAM. They're created by right-clicking over a node in the node editor and choosing Create Play /Preview on left viewer / right viewer. From the drop down menu, the render settings dialog appears where you can configure the preview and initiate the rendering. You can also option drag a node directly from the node editor into a viewer. The render settings dialog will be displayed and the preview will appear on the viewer you target. For more information on rendering RAM previews, see Chapter 69 using viewers in the Davinci Resolve reference manual. Tip: option shift dragging a node into a viewer will skip the render dialog and previously used settings. Okay, so setting up network rendering in Fusion Studio, we're skipping. Licensing for network rendering, Fusion Studio. Configuring the render master and render nodes. There are two roles played by computers involved in network rendering. The render master manages the list of compositions to be rendered, the queue, and allocates frames to render nodes for rendering. Metaphorically speaking, the render master is the traffic cop of this process. The rendered nodes are the main computers used for the rendering process. All computers involved in network rendering must be on the same network subnet, and they all must have access to the various files, including fonts and third-party plugins used to create the composite. The path to the files must be the same for each computer involved in rendering. Preparing the render master. The render cop master manages the list of compositions to be rendered, the queue, and allocates frames to rendered nodes for rendering. Render master is also used to maintain render node list and to push updates to the various render nodes when needed. At least one computer in the render farm must be configured to act as the render master. Any copy of Fusion can act as a render master, but by setting up the Fusion network preferences. make this machine a render master. Is this? Huh? Where's the network? Is this the same thing? Is this Fusion Studio again? I think it is. It is. Setting up render manager. The render manager window is used to monitor the progress of rendering. It can be used to reorder, add, or remove compositions from a queue, and to manage the list of render nodes used for rendering. To open the render manager window in Fusion Studio, choose File, Render Manager. In Fusion Studio, render. This is all Fusion Studio. Scanning the render nodes with the render manager open, you can scan for render nodes by right-clicking in the render manager's render node list and choosing scan for render nodes from the drop-down menu. Scanning looks through all IP addresses on the network subnet to determine whether or any other computers in the network are actively responding on the port Fusion uses for network rendering. I think this is all still Fusion Studio. Okay, well, if I want to set up network rendering, which I don't right now, but I might, but at least I'll know this is where you'd look and reread. So submitting comps to network render, yeah. So let's keep moving through this, because I also think half of these is for, if not all of it, is talking about Fusion Studio, working with node groups. Okay, that's nice. All right, that's good. It was Fusion Studio. Okay. All right, we can just keep moving here. I'm not reading all that. Nah. Map drives. Some path maps are not set up on a Fusion render node automatically. For instance, you must manually add an entry for macros if you are using macros in your comp. Fusion Studio still. All right, using map drives. Each computer involved in rendering needs to have access to the drive where the comp and source media files are located. Mapping a drive. Okay, so I know about this. So if you have a NAS, or if you're fancy and you have a Blackmagic drive, you have to point the files, the instances of Davinci Resolve into the file locations. Mapping a drive provides permanent access to the folder on another computer or network storage device. Windows assigns a new drive letter to the folder. And it can be accessed just like any other drive connected to the computer. Yeah. On Mac, you can map a drive entering the SMB, yeah, which is different. So installing, if you have a Mac and a PC, you have to properly adjust for them. And then installing all fonts on rendered nodes. All fonts used by text tools in the composition must be available to all nodes participating in the render. The render will otherwise fail. Installing third-party plugins on rendered nodes. All third-party plugins and used by composition must be installed in the plugins directory of each render node. A render node attempting to render a composition that uses a plugin that's not installed will fail. Licensed plugins are required on each render. Other uses of rendering. Although you will probably set up network and rendering for the purpose of accelerating the output of your final renders, Fusion is capable of using the network for other purposes as well. You can use the nerdier nodes on your network. Is that literally what it's called? On your network to accelerate the creation of... Is that really what it's called? Creation foe? Okay, what is happening? The nerdier nodes on your network to accelerate the creation foe, flipbooks, previews, and disk caching as well. Fusion Studio. Boo! Frame timeouts. Where are we at? Fusion Server, relaunching render nodes with Fusion Server, with Fusion Studio though. So this is not for us. Heartbeats. The render master regularly sends out a heartbeat signal to each node, making sure they're okay. Heartbeat is basically a message from the so a ping. Then managing memory use, override composition. Often the network environment is made up of many computers, a variety of CPU and memory configurations. The memory settings used in the workstations that created the composition may not be appropriate for all the render nodes on the network. The render node software offers the ability to override the memory settings stored in the composition and use custom settings more suited to the system configuration of a specific render node. To access preferences for a node, right-click on the icon in the Windows notification area or from the macOS menu bar, and then check it. Override composition settings. Enable this set option to use the render node's local settings to render any incoming compositions. Disable it to use the default settings that are saved into the composition. Render several frames at once. Fusion has the ability to render multiple frames at once for increased render throughput. This slider controls how many frames are rendered simultaneously. The value displayed multiplies the memory usage. A setting of 3 requires 3 times as much memory as a setting of 1. Simultaneously branching enables this option to render every layer in parallel. This can offer substantial gains in throughput, but may also use considerably more memory, especially if many layers are used in the composition. These are advanced render techniques. Limitations of render nodes. There are a few important limitations to remember when setting up compositions and rendering over network. There's time stretching. So compositions using the time stretcher and time speed tools may encounter difficulties when rendered over the network. Speeding up or slowing down compositions and clips require fetching multiple frames before and after the current frame that is being rendered, resulting in increased I/O to the file server. This may worsen bottlenecks over the network and lead to inefficient rendering. If the compositions uses the time stretcher or time speed tools, make certain that the network is up to the load or pre-render the part of the composition before network rendering. Linear tools. Certain tools cannot be network rendered properly. Particle systems from third-party vendors, such as Art's Smoke and Rain, the Fusion Trails node, cannot render properly over the network. Okay. These tools generally store the previously rendered results and use it as part of the next frame's render. So every frame is dependent on the one rendered before it. This data is local to the tool, so these tools do not render correctly over a network. Saving to multi-frame formats. Multiple machines cannot render a single QuickTime file. Always render to separate sequential files formats like EXR, DPX, JPEG, and so on. Once the render is complete, a single workstation can load the image sequence in order and save the desired compiled format. Note, the above does not apply to network rendered previews, which are previews created over the network that employ spooling to allow multi-frame formats to render successfully. Only final renders are affected by this limitation. All right, I'm gonna note, like, this is stuff that I don't necessarily need to be checking out right now, but we're here and I wanna skim through it, and this is skimming through it. This is going through it. It's not as fast as I was hoping. We're still taking some time. We're still kind of checking it out, but who knows? When the time comes for like rendering a big sequence of stuff, at least I'll have this as a precursor. Troubleshooting. There are some common pitfalls when rendering across a network. Virtually all problems with network rendering have to do with the path names or plugins. Turn to the preparing compositions for network rendering section in this chapter to review some of the essential setup requirements. Verify that all render nodes can load the compositions and the media, and that all render nodes have installed the plugins used in the composition. If some difficulties persist, contact Blackmagic Design's technical support using the support section on the Blackmagic website. Save a copy of the render log. Yeah, check in the render log. The log file shown in the render manager dialog displays messages that can assist with diagnosing why a render or node has failed. The render log shows a step-by-step account of what happened or didn't happen during a render. If a render node cannot be found, fails to load a composition or render a frame, or simply stops responding, it will be recorded here. Okay, check the composition. The render manager's status field in the render log indicates if a composition fails to render. Some possible causes of this are as follows. No render nodes could be found. On the Preferences Network tab, make sure that there is at least one render node available, running and enabled. If all render nodes are listed as offline when they are not, check the network. The composition could not be loaded. Some render nodes may not be able to load a composition while others can. This could be because the render node could not find the composition. Check the path name of the composition is valid for the render node, or because the composition, okay, so if these things don't work, then I could check back to these. So if the rendered nodes stop responding, if a network link fails, okay, the render nodes failed to render a frame, might be because of all this. Check the render nodes, if I could read through that, and then check the network about all this. Boom. All right, cool. And we are at chapter 67. Good timing. How many pages was that? Oh, man. That was 60 pages. We did 60 pages today. I don't know if tomorrow's going to be 60 pages. I don't know if I'm going to do this tomorrow. My throat is starting to like get tired. I have never talked this much. I've never just spoken, read off something out loud like this for 3 hours at a clip every day. I don't know if my voice can keep up. But because tomorrow is we got tomorrow's Saturday. Am I going to be streaming tomorrow? I don't know. But if I can keep up this pace of 60 pages, it's only going to take 25 sessions. I can get 60 pages per time. I don't know about that. The funnest part of this today was actually kind of going through and like finding out the just looking through these different nodes, these different fusion nodes. That was fun. That was cool. Templates, blowing leaves, like that was the fun part. Oh. That'd be fitting if I just crashed it. But let's look ahead. Tomorrow or the next episode, doesn't really matter. I mean, like, no, I want to keep this up. I want to just like jam right through this and just finish reading the whole manual straight away. That'd be super cool. Tomorrow's chapter, working in the node editor. This chapter discusses how to work in the node editor, including multiple ways to add, connect, rearrange, and remove nodes. Oh, so this is actually getting to where it's like the real stuff. It was like how to connect the nodes and do node things. Because up until this point, we have been just kind of crashing, just crashing the program. No, we've been like describing, reading about like the layout, each individual button, and the layout and the interface. And then this was boring stuff about network rendering that we don't even need to use right now. But then coming up tomorrow is going to be, this chapter discusses how to work in the node editor, ways to connect, add, rearrange, remove nodes to create any effect. Any effect. Tomorrow we're going to learn how to make any effect that we want, that we can think of. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be fifty pages. So maybe we could try and get through this chapter 67 tomorrow. Or whenever. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is like when it gets good. This is when it gets good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got a few more minutes. I started like I started at like 7:05. I want to go for another. I want to go for like the entire 3 hours straight. Actually, it's my uptime for this stream has been 2 hours and 50 minutes so far. So at this point, let's see. I feel like, oh, I have an idea. I got an idea. Okay. So ChatGPT, riddle me this. List all of the things that I need to include in a live stream. List all of the graphics and elements that I need to include in a live stream. I don't know if that makes sense. Sure, here's a comprehensive list of graphics and elements commonly used in a live stream. I think that made sense. Okay. So I need to get a webcam frame. Do I? Yeah. I need to get a webcam frame. A logo. I need a logo. And then a social media handles, displayed for viewers to follow you on. That's right. On platforms. And then I need a subscriber, follower, donation goal. Okay. I mean, so far I think I've gotten 3 views, but yeah, I should definitely set this all up. Got to set it all up. If I want this stream to do well, I gotta look the part, and that involves setting up the overlay graphics. But we need social media handles, subscriber, follower, donation goals, which stream name. We have a stream name right now. It's Day3 1600 pages Davinci Resolve Fusion. That just sounds so exciting. Oh, and the thumbnail for today was clearly did its job by attracting nobody into the chat. So we want people to come in. We got to fix that up properly. And then the schedule. Yeah, it's like the schedule. Something to consider. I don't know the schedule. I think trying to do it every day. Just blast through this stuff. I like that I'm starting with this, weirdly enough, because I'm getting the reps in of being on camera, talking to camera, and like this is part of it, is realizing that, oh, I got to set up the overlay graphics. So the stream schedule, the alerts, the pop-ups for new subscribers, followers, donations, chat box, a window showing messages from viewers, informational graphics, lower thirds. You need your text overlays for displaying names, titles, other info. Stream schedule, displaying the current schedule or upcoming schedule events. Countdown timer for scheduled breaks or upcoming events. Polls, graphics for polling viewers on certain topics. Rules, instructions, all this stuff. Sponsors, partner logos, gameplay elements for gaming streams. No, we don't have. Don't think I'm going to be doing gameplay, but I might. I mean, I'd like to get into video editing. Probably what this will morph into. Gameplay elements. I don't think we're going to be using gameplay elements, like an overlay for elements, but stream chat overlay, that'd be sweet. I'll probably add that in. That's all stuff that, man, I got to look into that. How to do like multi-stream to Twitch and YouTube, and there's another platform. And then get the chats in there, and then transitional elements, scene transitions, custom transitions when switching scenes or segments. We'll need to do that. BRB intermission screen. That's what that's clearly what I need right away. Placeholder screen for breaks or intermissions. Starting, ending soon screens. Screens to inform viewers when the stream is starting or ending. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. I need to make a list. I'll grab this all. Let me yoink this. Oh, and then miscellaneous background music. See, I'm unsure about background music because of copyright stuff. So that's silly. Maybe we'll make our own at some point, but or find some cool music, or someone can set us up with some. I don't know. Let me copy all this and take a note, put it into my Notion. And are we at that 3-hour mark? I wanna go until it's just 3 hours. So let me write this down. I'm gonna add it into my list of Notion stuff that I gotta develop. Let me say develop for aptitude streaming. And then I'm going to put it in there. Save it. Okay. Actually, let's put this in the main section stuff. Figure out where to put that later, I guess. Sweet. And is there anything else? Well, I feel like by going through some of this stuff now, oh, it did. It started to render. Damn, it took a while to render though. I think there's a lot going. Oh, there we go. That's so cool. I think that's a real. Oh, the particle is of the leaf. The style is a leaf. Oh, we could change it to seagulls. And then the seagulls are colored, miscolored here. Oh, there's different leaves. There we go. There we go. Good way to, let's end it with some smiley faces flying across the screen. It's a nice way to end. All right, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching. We'll pick up next time with the, picking up tomorrow with the node editor, chapter 67. Gonna be sweet.